I would like to welcome and thank everyone here today for attending our Community Connects event, including our listening public at home. For those here in the audience, I would like to let you know that tonight's session is being recorded, but the audience will not be recorded to protect your privacy. If at any time you have a question you wish to ask but don't feel comfortable voicing that question, please flag me down and I will ask it for you. We want to make sure everyone here feels comfortable. My name is Tony and I'm the Adult Programmer and Outreach Coordinator at the library. Connecting a community is one of our main goals at the Hanover Public Library. Just like the community leaders here with us today, we are dedicated to serving the public, ensuring that every voice and need is heard and supported. The library is here to curate knowledge, foster learning, and connect people with the resources they need. Our 12 staff are a part of this community. We live here, shop here, raise our children here, walk our dogs down the trails, and are your neighbors and friends. Because of this, we all strive to meet the needs of the residents of Hanover and work together to continue to make this town a beautiful place to live. At the library, we provide a lot more than books. We provide adventure with our park passes and snowshoes. We support community infrastructure with our disc golf sets and outdoor games to use at local parks. We help our community grow strong and beautiful with our seed library, which allows access to free seeds, allowing anyone to grow quality food or beautiful gardens. And today we just handed out our 3,000th package of seeds, so that was exciting. The library provides one-on-one tech help with William at no cost and free online tutoring services with qualified teachers. We host volunteer tax clinics and employment counseling services to help the community be financially sufficient, putting over $35,000 back into our community members' hands. With programs on advanced care planning, power of attorney and wills, seed starting workshops, elder abuse prevention, how to be an organ donor, and social groups, we empower our community to be able to make educated decisions. While the library may not be making large changes that are easy to see, we change lives. We provide a safe space where everyone is equal, everyone is respected, and everyone is important. We continue to provide security, educational resources, free access, and accessibility to all. With a struggling economy and more people struggling to keep up, the library is more important than ever. We allow a person to be able to get items and access to education for free, which reduces barriers. Just because you're struggling financially should not mean that you don't get to see the latest movies, play the coolest board games, or travel the provincial parks. With municipal contributions, our fundraising efforts, and donations from the community, we continue to maintain our collections and staff hours to provide the quality services you have come to rely on. Our recent 2-week campaign, Loonies for the Library, raised $762, and we could not have done it without the support of our community and our local businesses. The library would not be what it is without the continued support of our amazing community. I encourage everyone to get a library card. Keep an eye on our website for upcoming events and join us at all the amazing community events around town. Before I pass the floor over, I would like to personally thank Sherri. She does so much behind the scenes work and helped make this event possible. When the Community Connects was first suggested, I thought there was no way we would get all these very busy people into one room, and Sherri made it happen effortlessly. When we were meeting to discuss details, it was during the snowstorms, and she was handling a lot with patience and grace that few can muster. She truly is an important part of making things happen in this town, and I want to thank her for everything that she does that very few see. I would also like to thank the town leaders here today for showing your support to the library and library services and taking time out of your busy schedules to be here today. We truly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. And before I pass it on to Sue, we have a birthday. It is Brandon's birthday, and we would like to wish him a very happy birthday. And we got him a cupcake. There's also cupcakes for everybody else over there as well. All right, I will pass it over to Mayor Sue. Do you want one here? Okay.
Okay, Adam, if I'm not close enough, let me know. I got the thumbs up. So I'm Sue Paterson, Mayor of the Town of Hanover. Welcome to our first Community Connects session. Thank you for taking the time to join us. This is an informal opportunity for community members to engage directly with council and our management team. Community Connects is part of our ongoing commitment to better engage with and inform the community. We want to hear from you, your questions, your ideas, and your feedback. Building stronger connections helps us better understand what matters most to you. Council is elected to govern, while administration is responsible for managing day-to-day operations and implementing council's decisions. So here's what you can expect today. We'll begin with an update on what's happening in Hanover. After that, each member of council and our management team will give a brief 2-minute quick talk. Once those are complete, we'll open the floor for your participation. We're looking forward to a great conversation. So let's dive into some of the exciting projects and initiatives underway. Get ready to make a splash. The contract to construct the Canadian Tire splash pad at the Hanover Park has been awarded and construction has begun. We can't wait for the grand opening and the first refreshing splash in June. Spring also means the start of construction projects. This year, 7th Street from 13th Avenue easterly will be reconstructed, which includes infrastructure replacement as well as curb and gutter. A new sidewalk on the north side of the street will be installed. A joint project with Grey County will see urbanization of 24th Avenue, or you may know it as County Road 28, from 10th Street to 14th Street. This will include curb and gutter, a sidewalk on the west side, and street lighting. A towering change is coming. Work is underway to replace the 7th Avenue Water Tower, a true Hanover landmark since 1957. The new tower will be located north of the Hanover Cemetery. It will take shape this year with completion set for 2026. Planning for the future. The expansion of the wastewater treatment plant is progressing with environmental assessments and ongoing collaboration with Saugeen Conservation Authority. This critical project will help prepare us for future growth. Future infrastructure priorities include a complete computer system upgrade at the water treatment plant, and investigations are underway to service lands north of the Saugeen River. Growing prosperity in South Grey, discussions are ongoing, and we're powering up for a greener future. We've partnered with a third party to install level 3 EV charging stations on 11th Avenue east of Heritage Square. More and higher level chargers mean increased accessibility for electric vehicle owners. Another way Hanover is embracing sustainability and visitor attraction. A warm welcome to our newcomers. In partnership with Grey Bruce Local Immigration, we're enhancing our Hanover Welcome packages with newcomer initiatives. Plus, we're thrilled to announce the launch of a newcomer resource hub at the library this fall. Another great step toward fostering an inclusive community. Downtown is the place to be. Music in the Square returns on Saturdays alongside the popular Eat Well Market, the perfect combination of great tunes, fresh food, and local shopping. New this year, we're hosting a volunteer fair on June 17th at the P&H Center and a volunteer appreciation event on June 28th. Volunteers are the heart of Hanover, and we can't wait to celebrate their dedication with a day of fun and recognition. We're also looking forward to the fall and Christmas markets, Earth Day celebrations in April, Canada Day celebrations, and Culture Days in September. Lots of reasons to come to Hanover and enjoy everything it has to offer. I'm excited to share that the town has partnered with the DIA to complete a downtown plan, so stay tuned. A new chapter in emergency services. Our old fire hall, which proudly served Hanover for nearly 90 years, has now made way for a state-of-the-art net zero fire hall. Join us on May 10th for the official opening and tours as we celebrate a new era of fire and emergency services in a facility built for the future. We also look forward to the start of the architectural firm that will design the new police station to be built at the former fire hall site. Design will be completed in 2025 with construction to commence in early 2026. So more information can be found about our town on hanover.ca, our website, and you can enter your concerns, your compliments, or your suggestions through our online citizen request and suggestion link. So now let me take a moment to really introduce myself. I was first elected to Hanover Council in 2003 and proudly served 3 terms as a councillor. Since 2014, I've had the honor of serving as mayor, and I began my 3rd term in 2022. Hanover has been my home for nearly my entire life. I went to both public and high school here and later retired from a career in fundraising at our local hospital. In addition to my role as mayor, I serve on several boards, including the Police Services Board, the Library Board, Saugeen Conservation Authority, and West Ontario Power. As mayor, I also sit on Grey County Council, where I'm a member of the Long-Term Care Management Committee and the Urban Roads Committee. It is truly important to me that Hanover continues to thrive, and that we work together to shape a future that benefits us all. And now I'll ask Deputy Mayor Dickert to come up.
Well, thank you, Sue. That was very enlightening. You've done a great job of updating what's going on in town. So for myself, my wife and I, Deb, moved to town here about 35 years ago. It was easy to connect. We had young kids in sports, and if you let yourself get involved, coaching, managing, doing whatever it is, you get to know a lot of people in a hurry, and you get to really feel at home. I also spent time with the Police Service Board, Planning Advisory Council, Hospital Board, and Rotary Club, and the Chamber of Commerce. So like I said, when you get involved, it's easy to get connected to the community. So kind of what leads you to getting involved in politics and wanting to be part of the municipal leadership group. In 2018, I was elected to council, and at that time I sat on the Saugeen Mobility Board, the Landfill Committee, and also on the Community Safety Wellbeing and Age-Friendly Committees. I sat with some of the people in the audience here on the Age-Friendly Committee. After that, on 2022, I was successful in being elected as Deputy Mayor. And as Mayor Paterson said, that allows you to sit at County Council as well. So at County Council, so locally here, I sit on the Saugeen Mobility Committee and I sit on the Walkerton Hanover landfill site. And then when you go to county, I've been appointed to Finance and Budget Committee, the Community Services Committee, and the Economic Development. I guess the one thing I forgot here in Hanover is also the Physician Recruitment Committee. So you find yourself being pretty busy. Likely the biggest surprise when you take on this role is the amount of reading and preparation it takes to get ready for meetings and just staying abreast of everything that's happening not only in Hanover but around us, because it all has an impact on us. So we have great staff, we have a great council. I must say we don't always agree on everything, but we always manage to come out of the meetings smiling and friends with each other. We have great staff that's committed and does a great job for our community, and certainly proud to call Hanover my home, and proud to serve on this committee. So with that, I'll pass it over to Councillor Fleet.
Thank you, Warren. Anybody that doesn't know me, I'm Harold Fleet. I was born and raised in Hanover. I've lived here all my life. I guess that's a good thing. I'm serving my 2nd term on Hanover Council, and I feel fortunate to be able to give back to my community. I've always believed in volunteering, and over the past several years, a number of committees and boards, including Director of Community Living Heart for 10 years. I volunteered with the Hanover Centennial and Hanover Homecoming committees, as well as a building committee for our P&H Center. I'm a member of Branch 130 of the Hanover Legion. Presently, I serve in the following town committees. I'm on the Age-Friendly, Planning Advisory, and I'm on the Hanover Downtown Improvement Area, DIA. I'm also the alternate counselor for the County of Grey when Sue and Warren can't fill in. My first term on council was a learning experience. We dealt with COVID, and I was proud of how our council, town staff, and residents worked together to get through this pandemic. During this second term of council, we experienced a lot of growth in our community. 2 major subdivisions, our new fire hall, the construction of the apartment building on 7th and 10th. We've also experienced growth in our business park. The water tower is currently under construction, as well as a splash pad and our new police station to come. I enjoy being on council and representing the residents of our great community. While some decisions we have to make are harder than others, I always base my decisions on what I feel is the best for the residents of our community. It is an honor to represent you and take your voice to the council table. I want to thank all the residents of Hanover, and I want to thank our fine staff. And now I'll turn it over to Councillor Susan Sackel.
Thank you, Councillor Fleet. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming tonight. If you don't know me, you might know my husband, Brian Sackel. We came up to Hanover in 1979 for my teaching position in Walkerton, and suddenly I find myself on council after I've retired. So this is my first term on council. I'm currently the council appointee for the Community Safety and Wellbeing Committee and the Economic, Tourism, and Cultural Development Committee. Before running for office, I spent 2 four-year terms with the Hanover Public Library Board, and I was the library representative for the Cultural Roundtable Committee for 4 years as well. So when I'm not attending meetings or going to community events, you might see me volunteering at Light on Main, ushering for the Hanover Community Players, taking part in aquafit classes at the pool, shopping for my Operation Christmas Child team, or assisting with the library book sale, or even walking on the trail with a friend. I'm a busy girl, just ask my husband. So, I've learned quite a bit in my first 2 years on council. Firstly, sometimes it takes a long time for progress to be made. Council might agree on a land developer's request, for instance, but the land doesn't change for months of waiting. And as well, since there's 7 of us on council making decisions, there's always a chance that a vote may not turn out to be what I was hoping for. I must simply accept that and move forward. I've also learned that community members are very concerned about the day-to-day events which occur. And so it's the little things that matter to our citizens. And I look forward to continuing my work on many little things for our townspeople. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Councillor Carol Hudson at this time.
Thank you, Susan. Some nice familiar faces in the audience here. Thanks for coming. So as Susan mentioned, I'm Carol Hudson, Councillor, Town of Hanover, and I'm currently serving my first term. I grew up just outside of Hanover and consider it my hometown. I've always worked in and around the area and purchased my home here 39 years ago. It's a long time. I'm like really old. Anyway, 39 years ago this month, in fact. My sense of community and getting to know people in this area has been lifelong. For the last 14 years, I've operated my own business, and I'm transitioning in May to a new career in business as well. I had no expectations or agenda going into this position. You don't know what you don't know. It's been a great learning experience with a lot of reading material to be covered, as others have mentioned, particularly this last weekend. But when all of the different puzzle pieces come together and you can make fair and reasonable decisions based on information provided, it can be very exciting. The appointed committees that I'm on are the Committee of Adjustments, Parks, Recreation, and Culture, which both are very interesting with lots of new developments always occurring. People out in the community will ask, how do you like being on council? At first, my reply was that it was a huge learning curve, but now it's more likely to be that I'm enjoying sinking my teeth into the information and hopefully make good decisions for all concerned. It's been amazing the number of people that I've met, new experiences that I've shared. It's been fun, challenging, frustrating, and exciting all at the same time. And I'd really like to encourage everyone to get involved. Join a committee, a group, or a club. Make a difference in your lives. Participate or in planning or helping with events, because working together as a group can be fun and makes our community a great place to live. Thank you, and I'd like to introduce Brandon Cable.
Excellent. Thank you, Carol. Good afternoon. My name is Brandon Cable, and it's been a pleasure and honor to represent the citizens of Hanover on council since 2018. I currently sit on the Parks, Recreation, and Culture Advisory Committee, the Hanover Bentinck and Brant Agricultural Society Board of Directors, the Agricultural Society's Finance Committee, Hall Committee, and Raceway Committee, as well as the Town of Hanover's Committee of Adjustment. Over the past 6.5 years, I've had the privilege of supporting the development of a variety of projects, which I'm really pleased to have seen completed or in progress, including our new net zero energy fire hall, our disc golf course at Town Park, the refurbishment of our neighborhood playgrounds, and the banquet hall facility, which is currently under construction at Hanover Raceway. And through the Parks, Recreation, and Culture Advisory Committee, I've been pleased to support the development of our new splash pad at Town Park. Being a member of council has proven to be both rewarding and challenging. Rewarding to hear from Hanover residents about both what is working well and the challenges that they experience, helping to support programs and initiatives that make our community a better place to live, work, and play in, and having the opportunity to attend a variety of different functions which really show the collective sense of community that exists in our town. Challenging in terms of balancing priorities with financial realities, balancing the desire to hold on to our small town appeal while managing growth and density requirements, challenges with providing support and advocacy for provincial responsibilities such as healthcare, which is urgent, while trying to stay in the lane of municipal responsibilities, and realizing, as others have said, that everything seems to take a lot longer than you might originally hope. I really am proud to call Hanover home, and while we have our challenges, I really think that it's important for us to step back and look at all that we had to be proud of. Thank you for being here this evening. I look forward to our further discussion. And I will pass it over to Councillor Hocking.
Thank you, Brandon. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out to this event. I am David Hocking, and I am a 5-term council member, having served on council for 3 terms from 1985 to 1993, and then 2 terms from 2018 to present. I was born, raised, and educated in Hanover. I worked as a food and drug inspector with the federal government. And in the 70s, I returned to Hanover after attending Teachers College, hired by my former colleague and mentor, Bob Crawford, to become a biology teacher, and I retired from JDSS as principal in 2002. After that, I started another career in real estate for the next 15 years. Once I retired from that in 2016, I decided to give back to my community and ran for council. My current responsibilities are I'm a member of the police board, I'm a council appointee and chair of the Saugeen Municipal Airport, I am a member of the Splash Pad Committee, and I'm a member of the Boundary Adjustment Committee looking to expand our land to the east. Over the tenure, I've also been very fortunate to serve on committees involved in a variety of infrastructure projects, such as the Aquatic Center, the P&H Center, the medical clinic, and I currently sit on the committee overseeing the construction of a new splash pad, as well as a committee looking at the new police services building to be completed in 2027. These experiences all have a common theme, and that theme is we're very, very blessed in this community with a mixture of different volunteers who step up to the plate regardless of the task at hand. And I thank everyone who have worked with us over the years. You may think I've been around for a long time, and I have, over 40 years. Long time. And it's been a span of 40 years since I was first elected, but there's one thing that is common, regardless of serving in the 80s, 90s, and now 2020s. I have learned that councillors, whether they're experienced or newly elected, they take their responsibilities very seriously, and they always make decisions in the best interests of the community they are elected to serve. Do we usually have unanimous? No, but at the end of the day, we all believe in the decision. The harmony demonstrated over 5 different councils' experience over a span of 40 years has been exemplary. And I thank you for the opportunity to serve as your councillor over these many years. And it's my task now to introduce, glad you stood up. Sherri Walden, our CAO. And I have to echo the comments that were made before. Sherri has done an excellent job. I get to work with her on one committee, and I watch her leadership, and she is truly a motivated leader. So thank you, Sherri, and it's you're at the mic.
Well, hello, everyone. I know a lot of faces in the crowd, so that's really great, and some new people I've met tonight. So Dave has already said my name. It's Sherri Walden, and I am the CAO, and it truly has been a privilege to serve in this role, as well as the other roles that I've had for the municipality over the last 33 years. And honestly, it is a team effort between council and our staff team to ensure that our residents enjoy a good quality of life here. And not just the staff that you see here tonight as our senior management team, who I interact with on a daily basis, but all of our town staff on a frontline basis. They're the ones who are out early in the morning plowing your snow, they're taking care of your water, they're making sure that the landfill operates well, parks and recreation programs, we have lots of great quality programs, building inspections happen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we have a great team, and I'm very proud of that team on a daily basis and the work that they do to make sure you enjoy great services in this community. So we are going to move into our department quick talks, where senior management staff will provide a department overview of their 2025 key objectives and their work plan highlights. So as the CAO, that's the administration department, and that includes myself, as well as our clerk and human resources functions and responsibilities. The CAO's key function is directing the management and administration of the affairs of all town departments to meet council's objectives and direction. As CAO, I'm the link between council and our senior management department staff. Continued implementation of our 56 recommendations in our Building Our Future Together strategic plan is key for the administration department to make sure that those 56 recommendations continue to move forward. So in 2025, through the administration department, we are focusing on our phase 1 organizational review implementation, our ongoing growing prosperity conversations with our neighbor municipality, as well as supporting the development process for the new police station. Ensuring our town staff team is effective in their work while facilitating an employment environment that is positive and supportive is also a key task of the CAO. So I'm going to ask Clerk Vicki McDonald to come forward and explain the clerk functions of the administration role.
Thank you, Sherri, and welcome everyone. My name is Vicki McDonald. I am the clerk for the Town of Hanover. It's one of the statutory positions within the Municipal Act, so every municipality is required to have a clerk on staff. One of our key roles is ensuring legislative compliance. Some of our key tasks in the clerk's department are preparing council agendas, minutes, and bylaws. We manage municipal elections and school board elections. We administer the Freedom of Information Act, as well as provide cemetery management and other administrative tasks along the way. We also issue a variety of licenses, which can range from marriage licenses to taxi licenses for not only our residents, but we also see many residents from the surrounding community come to us to receive service as well. So some of the key objectives for the Clerk's Department for 2025 are digitizing our cemetery records and streamlining those operations. Currently, everything is done manually, and we have a variety of maps between our office and our cemetery office. So we are really looking forward to a more streamlined and efficient management of our cemetery. We are updating our procedure bylaw. That is the bylaw that governs the conduct of council and committee meetings, as well as updating our taxi bylaw this year. So those are just a few of the key objectives we're excited to manage this year. Thank you, everyone.
And Melissa Hilgendorf, our Human Resources Manager, will highlight the human resources functions within the admin department.
Good evening, everyone. It's really nice to be here to speak to you today. I do appreciate the opportunity to share on behalf of staff and departments. It's exciting to connect with you in that way. Human resources, also known as HR, is based on the philosophy that people are our greatest asset. And so much of what the HR department does is support the Town of Hanover and its staff throughout their employment life cycle. So that they feel good and supported in their roles, so that they can in turn support council's directives and you as residents. The HR function plays a vital role in the growth and development of the town as a corporation through ensuring equal and compliant processes so that we can attract and retain qualified staff that are engaged in their roles and that are productive in their roles as well. Main functions include HR planning, recruitment, compensation, labor relations, staff development, health and safety, and also accessibility. Key 2025 HR objectives include the development of a hearing conservation program for staff, completion of a salary and benefit market survey, and implementation of organizational review project objectives. Thank you.
So that is our administration department. We're now going to turn to our other departments to provide a similar highlight. So first up, and interestingly enough, I thought I did this alphabetical by department, but as it turned out, it's actually alphabetical by name as well. Interestingly enough, fun fact that I just learned today about the Town of Hanover. So the first one up is Andrew Wilkin, Director of Building and Planning and our Chief Building Official.
Hi, everybody. I'm Andrew Wilkin, Director of Building and Planning, Chief Building Official for the Town of Hanover. My departmental overview is we oversee all building, all planning, all bylaw enforcement. We also oversee 4 of the facilities here in the town. Within the department, it's myself as the Chief Building Official and Director, Deputy Chief Building Official, municipal bylaw enforcement officer. There is also a supervisor of maintenance operations for our facilities, a junior planner, and subsequent staff under those departments. We also act as the secretary treasurer on the Committee of Adjustment Land Committee. Objectives in 2025, first and foremost, if you were watching yesterday, we had our official plan update kickoff meeting. That's an important document. Really, the official plan guides how this town intends to grow, its goals, its objectives, and how we see this municipality growing over the course of at least the next 20 years. As well, in 2025, we are undertaking a development charges background study, which may or may not facilitate the implementation of development charges. Development charges are meant for new developments, are paying for growth-related infrastructure as the town expands and proceeds to grow. In terms of construction projects, typically the town sees about 110 to 120 building permits a year. Construction costs could range from $15 million to $50 million in any given year. Last year we had about 110 permits, about $25 million worth of construction costs. We are putting the final touches, we believe, on the next subdivision, which are lands north of the Saugeen River. Which is exciting because, as you can see, our existing subdivisions are some moving faster than others, but are starting to fill up. The project at 223 10th Street, the large 109-unit apartment on the corner, is scheduled to occupy this year. They are indicating a late summer. We will see if that happens or not. The town really has no ability to move that faster or slower, just so you're aware. The town is kind of leading that new Hanover Police Station steering committee, working to get a consultant on board, and very excited to see that construction start early next year, as the mayor indicated. And I think that's my 2 minutes.
Thanks, Andrew. Next is April Marshall, our Economic Development Manager.
Good evening, everyone. I am pleased to share the highlights of our economic development initiatives and efforts that focus on leveraging local resources to grow our economy, improve quality of life, and strengthen Hanover's position as a regional center. In 2024, we made significant strides with HIP, Hanover's Innovative People Program, aimed at driving recruitment and retention of people, businesses, and investments. We launched the HIP Apprentice campaign, promoting careers in skilled trades through engaging videos and a successful social media campaign. Our HIP Entrepreneur Business Pitch competition awarded over $11,000 in startup capital and support to local entrepreneurs. The winner was Kids Play Indoor Play Center. Second place went to the Alley, and third place was awarded to the Tech CNC startup. Our HIP culture initiatives included the Joint Cultural Roundtable, delivering the Saugeen Culture Bus that offered unique cultural experiences across the region. We launched the Driftscape app, featuring an interactive map that promotes top attractions, historical tours, and event updates. We hosted the second annual Mayor's Breakfast for Business, featuring discussions on innovative work cultures with local employers. Our wayfinding strategy was finished and enhances our network of directional signs and promotes key assets and attractions. The CIP, Community Improvement Plan or Program, supported new developments and enhancements to downtown properties. The Saugeen Connects Student Startup Program saw 50 area youth start 46 businesses, with 13 of them residing in Hanover. Additionally, WOWSA, which is our Women of Wellington Saugeen area for professional women and entrepreneurs, we hosted a successful women-owned business tour in Hanover. Looking ahead to 2025, we aim to build on our successes. We will create a tourism plan, work with the Hanover Library to launch it as our newcomer resource center, and establish a downtown revitalization plan with key stakeholders. We will complete an updated business retention and expansion study and support advancing youth retention efforts. We propose to continue providing incentives for business development through the CIP and promoting event growth through the Event Development Fund. Collaboration with regional partners will remain a priority. Together, we will continue to foster community development, pride, and economic growth, ensuring Hanover remains a vibrant and thriving community. Thank you.
Good, and next we have Chris Walker, our Director of Corporate Services and Treasurer.
Thank you. Corporate Services and Finance is responsible for financing, corporate information, IT, and asset management. We are mandated by the Municipal Act to have a treasurer on staff, so as Vicki said, you have to have a clerk and treasurer, and we're the two that you have to have. Doesn't mean you have to pay us as an employee, you just have to have one on staff, contract or not. So if there is money involved, then Corporate Services Finance is part of it. We're responsible for our yearly budgets, operations and capital, accounts payable, accounts receivable, tax billing and collection, water sewer billing and collection, biweekly payroll processing, insurance, coverage, claims, investments, grants, the applications, the progress and claim reports, debt management for external and internal borrowing, customer service that's associated with these areas, and we also provide day-to-day financial bookkeeping for other organizations as DIA, Library, Police, Saugeen Municipal Airport, and Smart Gas Tax. We complete yearly audited financial statements, quarterly reports to council, and yearly financial information returns. For IT, we are responsible for all municipal hardware, cybersecurity and networking requirements, and currently utilize the services of a third-party IT consultant. We have an off-site disaster recovery service system to ensure proper storage and off-site recovery should a major incident occur. We've updated all our town computer laptops late last year and early this year with Microsoft 365 software as well. It has been a long process for this changeover, and it is finally completed. We are also responsible for updating any corporate equipment contracts, such as cell phones, photocopiers, postage meters, folding machines, and the enterprise light vehicle fleet leases, to name a few. Asset management is the service management of the town's assets and corporate services, plays a lead role in the practice and concepts, the day-to-day maintenance, coordination, and tracking of the asset management plan. We are currently updating the town's AMP to be compliant with the Ontario regulations, which is due July 1st, 2025, that stipulates any providing financial strategy for the proposed levels of service and performance of these assets and the life cycle activities and costs to achieve these proposed levels of services. We're currently working on the 2024 year-end financials with the auditors. We will be completing the FIR in the next few months, working on the day-to-day bookkeeping for the 2025 fiscal year for the town and all other organizations noted, and have started work on the 2026 budget that will be presented in late fall 2025. So if you like money and numbers, this is the department to be in.
I think Chris dreams about numbers at night, just to say. And FIR, for those who may be wondering, that's our financial information return that we have to, right? I did say that right, correct? Sorry. We have a lot of acronyms in the municipal world, and so that is an annual report that we have to file with the province accordingly. So next up is Chief Jeff Deniger.
Welcome, everyone. We have a lot of exciting things happening in our fire department. I'd like to share some key updates. First, we're thrilled to invite everyone to the grand opening of our new Net Zero fire station on May 10th. This station is designed for efficiency, safety, and training, providing a home for our firefighters and a hub for the community. It includes specialized training spaces, a decontamination room, and areas dedicated to mental wellness and firefighter history. We look forward to celebrating this milestone with you. Looking ahead, we will spend time in 2025 building a new rescue pumper, aptly named Rescue 911, set to arrive in 2027. The state-of-the-art apparatus will enhance our emergency response capabilities, ensuring we're well equipped for the challenges of modern firefighting and rescue operations. Training and technical rescue continue to be major priorities. Our firefighters specialize in ice water, swift water, and surface water rescues, high-angle rope rescues, drone operations, and automobile extrication. These skills allow us to respond to a variety of complex emergencies, and we are constantly evolving to meet new challenges. Training takes place 3 nights a week and weekends each quarter. Finally, our commitment to certification and professional development remains strong. We require certification for every aspect of our work, and our team earns an average of 50 to 60 certifications per year. This ensures that we maintain the highest standards in emergency response and public safety. As we continue to grow, innovate, and train, our focus remains on protecting and serving the community. Thank you for your ongoing support, and we hope to see you at the grand opening May 10th.
And our fire department had the highest number of calls in history in 2024, and 2023 was also a historical year, 256 calls of service that our paid-on-call volunteer firefighters respond to. So, and the training is exceptional. When I drop by, it's quite something to see the amount of training that they have to fulfill each year to ensure that they maintain those certifications to protect our community accordingly. Next is Laura Laura, our Director of Parks, Recreation, and Culture.
Thank you, Sherri. Hello, everyone. My name is Laura Kristen, and I'm the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Culture. At the heart of our work, our mission is to provide safe and quality facilities and create leisure opportunities that can promote healthy living in Hanover. Our work is very seasonal. In the summer, we maintain 85 acres of parklands, playgrounds, your sports fields, your ball diamonds, and over 11 kilometers of community trails. Right now, we are transitioning from the winter operations to our summer operations. Normally, at this time of year, our ice would be out, but we are still maintaining our ice to support the Hanover Barons and their successful run in the playoffs. We continue to expand our programs. New this year, I know it was a long winter, but it was a great winter for an outdoor rink. We had 49 days of that outdoor rink being open, so it was very successful. That was at Kinsman Ballpark. As we transition into the spring, we have the 9-hole disc golf course that will be opening mid to end of May. The P&H Center and Regional Aquatic Center are a hub of activity for our community. We have recently introduced low-ratio swim lessons. We have a gentle aquafit. Brand new is what's called our drum fitness. Check it out, it's very fun. And we also had a new program called Introduction to Hockey, which is for first-time hockey players. We also organize community events such as Family Day, Earth Day, and Canada Day. Our next event is Earth Day, which is on April the 22nd. It's featuring a community litter pickup, clay pot painting, and our popular community-wide garage sale. It's an excellent cause. Get involved, volunteer, and show your support and community pride. So looking forward to 2025, we're excited about some very key projects. First being our volunteer fair, which is on June the 17th. More information to be shared on that, but save the date. We are also updating our park signage as well as our trailhead signage, so look for new signs to be coming in the spring. And also, as the town kind of expands eastward, this has opened up an opportunity to expand our trail network and kind of provide that better connectivity and promote active transportation. So we are excited to tackle the East End Trail Loop project, and we hope to have more information to share with that once the project is finalized. And I know it's come up a couple of times tonight, a big announcement that the Canadian Tire splash pad is underway. The construction at Town Park has commenced. The construction of the splash pad is the first phase of a multi-year project that is planned at that site. So there will be further enhancements. The splash pad and the amenities will be that first phase. And the Canadian Tire splash pad is set to open this summer 2025. And a selfish plug at the end, we are still accepting donations to this project, and it's not too late. Please, if you are interested in donating to that project, come and see me at the P&H Centre. Thank you very much.
Great. And I told Mr. Cooper we saved the best for last. So we have Ron Cooper, our Public Works Director.
Thanks for that vote of confidence, Sherri. I'll take you through a number of projects that you're going to see throughout the year ongoing, just to go through them and let you know. First one, we've got a project which we actually are completing from 2024. It involves our cemetery, where we're completing the landscaping work around. We installed the base for a new columbarium in the fall of 2024. The new columbarium arrived in February of this year. It's been installed, and we've got actually space in the base we put up for 3 more columbariums to be installed in the future. Moving north of there, we have a much bigger project that commenced in mid-March, and that would be the 7th Avenue Water Tower. And there is going to be some big changes on that one starting the week of April 14th, which is just next week. There's going to be 12 consecutive pours, which are occurring basically every working day that the contractor is there and weather permits. And that's going to see the concrete pedestal. They've got the first ring in around it, but that's going to see that concrete base being poured up to a height of 75 feet, and that will occur by early April, or 2.5 to 3 weeks. That project, bit of a longer term project. There'll be work continuing on that through 2025 and well into 2026, but very exciting project. It's kind of once in your lifetime that you're going to see one constructed in your community. Another project that we have getting started, that's actually to start next week, the week of April 21st, sorry, 2 weeks from now. It's going to continue on for approximately 8 weeks. That's Strevens Street reconstruction from 13th Avenue Easterly, and that's going to see complete infrastructure replacements there. Road's going to get reconstructed to curb gutter, and I believe as previously mentioned, sidewalk on the north side of it. Following that, we actually have another construction project which will get underway in July and carry on for another 8 weeks. That would be the 24th Avenue or County Road 28. It's a joint project we're doing with Grey County, and that's work from 10th to 14th Street. It's to urbanize that section, provide us with curb and gutter, sidewalk on the west side. as well as there's going to be dedicated left-hand turn lanes implemented at 10th Street and upgrades to the traffic signals. I have 2 other projects that are going to be ongoing this year, and they relate to us being able to provide capacity and growth to provide us into the future. The first one is at the wastewater treatment plant. We've got a project down there. It's going to be starting in April over about an 8-month period, and that's to replace some aging equipment, and it's going to increase our plant capacity to provide for future growth. The second project to provide for the future is going to be ongoing out at the Hanover Walden landfill site. It's going to be construction of cell number 3 out there, and that project is scheduled to commence in June and be completed by September. So all in all, very busy construction schedule for 2025, and good projects ongoing and provide for the future.
So for those here and those listening, when this is aired, that's just a highlight of what's happening in the town of Hanover. That's not everything, it's a highlight. So when I say I'm proud of what we accomplished with council, you can see why. There's a lot of things happening in the town of Hanover, and it's with council's support and our senior management team who drive those initiatives forward that can happen accordingly. So I'm proud every day of this team, and they probably are. Well, I don't think they get tired of hearing it, because I think it's important to share that. So we have turned now to the segment where you can ask your questions, share your compliments or your suggestions. As Mayor Sue noted, this evening is an opportunity to ask those questions, provide compliments or note suggestions. I'll be facilitating this part of the evening and ask that and I'll kind of share it with the most appropriate staff and or council member to provide comment. And I see that there's another microphone, so I was going to ask about that. So Tony has the microphone, and I believe, again, if you didn't want to personally ask the question, that there was an opportunity to submit it in writing, and Tony and Carolyn maybe would share that on your behalf. So is there anybody who wants to be the brave person to put their hand up first? Ed, wonderful.
Yeah, Ed King. No one mentioned youth, and I know it's probably because all other things going on in the town. So my question is, we talked about Launchpad, and now we're moving into something else, and I know there are a lot of discussions going on with April. Can you give me an update on what they're going towards now with youth in our town? Thank you.
Sure, I can start, and then I'll ask April to share if she's got anything else. So we hosted some focus groups on March 4th, correct, April? March 4th? And we provided a report to council at their March 17th meeting with respect to the input that we had heard during the focus groups. That was a special meeting on March 17th, so that agenda and that information is available on our website. And we received council input at that time, and the direction from council to staff was that we continue to move forward with developing a youth strategy with a focus on workforce and skills development. So staff team, meaning April and I at this point in time, are leading that, April specifically, and we are taking the next steps of investigation to consider the input we heard on March 4th and the information that we were hearing as the high needs, and doing further investigation to then be able to bring back that strategy to council for their approval, that we then take the next steps from there. So that's in a nutshell. April, do you have anything that you want to add to that? Yes, we'll have to. Or Mike, whichever.
No, thank you, Sherri. That was a great summary. I think I might just add that we see the opportunity and value of partnering with our community stakeholders that are working with youth, and we see the importance of building on those successes and not trying to duplicate or replicate. You know, we're trying to take a good assessment of what's happening and what we can build upon so that we can benefit the youth of our area while we listen to them. So we're just right in the midst of this all, and it's all very exciting actually to connect at the community level and hear the input from our most important stakeholders. So I would just ask everyone to stay tuned, and we'll have more information soon. Thank you.
The other thing that I would add is that the March 4th focus groups were direction from a February 3rd council meeting. So within 5 weeks approximately, we actioned a very aggressive focus group, and we had almost 40 people there. So it was well attended, lots of great input, and we have a fair bit of work ahead of us before we bring back that strategy for council's consideration and further direction. Council, is there anybody else who wishes to add anything further to that? No? Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments or? Okay. Well, Tony's bringing the microphone to you, I think, Ron. Ron Zavit has one here too. Do you want to go there first, Tony?
Sure,
He had
and
his
then I'll
hand up.
ask this one.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, a great big huge WOW. Wow. All of this is going on in Hanover. And we in the audience are almost, well, I can only speak for myself, largely almost totally unaware of all of this work going on, all of these departments, well reported. It's great to live in Hanover.
Well, thank you so much, Ron. You are always such a positive member of our community to cross paths with whenever you're out walking or at the library or at the P&H Center. So thank you for saying those kind things. We appreciate compliments. We don't always hear them, I have to tell you that. But, when people take the time to share their compliments, they are forwarded to the staff team, including our very frontline staff, because it's so important that they hear that our residents are appreciative, as you've just expressed tonight. So thank you.
So one of the questions is, do people who use the EV chargers pay for their usage? And if not, why not?
Okay, I know the answer to that, but again, I don't wish to be the one speaking. So again, that's an April question, I would say, for the most part. So April, you're good to come forward and explain that.
Thank you. So there is a fee attached to the EV chargers. However, currently we have the 2 level 2 chargers, one over at Heritage Square and one down at the P&H Center. They both have 2 nozzles or 2 charging units on them. So you receive your first 2 hours free, and then there's a minimal charge afterwards. There's still a free unit that is on the old fire hall station, which is aged, so that will be coming down, I assume, when the building gets developed there. But essentially, I just want to promote that we look at the EV chargers as an attraction tool. So that is, we would like to, earn some revenue to help pay for them, but at the same time, we see the value in bringing people to our community, having EV drivers feel confident that when they come to our region that they have a place to charge. And then, when they're here shopping downtown, eating at our restaurants, etc. So yes, a minimal charge, but the first 2 hours are free at this point.
Hi, Lisa Talbot. Moved to Hanover almost 2 years ago, my husband and I. We've been asking questions about the old John Diefenbaker School, and we were just wondering if there are any applications in the pipeline for this particular building, also known as an eyesore.
So that question comes up often, and definitely, so it is privately owned, and there are thoughts by that owner of what it could be developed to be, and so our building and planning staff are working with the owner to see that come to an application stage if it gets to that. But really, it's up to that private developer to bring forth that application and the studies accordingly to do that. You noted the eyesore word, and we're certainly aware that it is not in a state that we certainly knew that building to be in our community when it did operate as the former high school. And when there's a permit, so it did have a building permit, there are some exclusions in our bylaw around that, but our staff are working with the owner to attempt to have them keep it in a better state, and we did see some improvement last fall compared to what it had been. I'm maybe going to ask Andrew, not that I wish to put him on the hot seat, but Andrew, do you have anything that you'd like to add to that?
No. As you said, there's not much to update at this time. As I knew, as winter disappeared finally and spring started, that it would again creep up. The town was hopeful that it would see kind of those formal applications come forth where it felt like it was progressing to a point where it would ultimately be cleaned up and redeveloped to its final state. I'm a resident of Hanover too. I live in the area as well. I drive by it just like many, and as a taxpayer in this community, I'd like to see it develop too. As Sherri said, the town only has so much control of what it can and can't do within the limitations of legislation. We are working with the owner. We do stay in contact with the owner as much as possible. So I'm hopeful that moves forward in the first half of this year. But again, I would have said that to you 2 years ago, and I was just as hopeful.
I'm interested in the organizational review. Can you tell us what initiated it? What was the reason for starting it? Who's doing it? When will it be finished? What do you expect to come out of it? And what are the plans to inform the public about the results?
Right, so the organizational review was a recommendation in our 2023-2027 strategic plan, and it was a high priority. So that organizational review was completed last year with Linton Consulting Services being the consultant that was hired to do that. The hiring of the consultant and the various reports that came forward, most of them were in public session, an open session. So the organizational review was approved by council, I want to say it was late in early December 2024, and it's a 3-phased implementation, which will see us become a town structure with 4 core departments and some other revisions to roles and job descriptions within those 4 departments. So we're just in the very early stages of that implementation. And so a lot of it's operational, as in hiring staff and changing job descriptions and that type of thing, which is truly things that happen within the organization accordingly, as opposed to a public process of providing information to the community. But most of the organizational review documents, the hiring and that type of thing, are available through the agendas in 2024. I will say that the organizational review adoption of that was in closed session because it dealt with identifiable individuals from an organizational structure standpoint.
So there's a report on the town's website?
There's some of the reports, specifically the organizational review report is not on the town website, given it was in closed session, but the hiring of the consultant and that type of thing is.
Hello, back to the high school, sorry. Just to clarify, so the town doesn't know what's happening with that school? Is it going to be like a nursing home, a rec center?
Yeah, well, again, the private owner has thoughts and ideas that they have shared with us, but it would be premature for us to share what those ideas and thoughts are until such time that a formal application comes forward. Okay. And it's zoned currently. It would have to go through a zoning bylaw amendment accordingly, depending on the use that they see that they might like to develop it in. So there's a number of different stages that will have to happen from an approval process. And some of those approvals, specifically if it requires a zoning bylaw amendment, would be through the Planning Act, and there would be a public process accordingly that would be involved in that, where the public needs to be notified and there'd be public comment, et cetera, et cetera.
Sorry. I don't know the bylaw, but there's no sign up saying future development.
Correct, because again, it's not been determined, like it's not, how would I say it? It's not written in stone at this point in time what the private owner is going to develop it to be.
Right, so the way I see it, he's blowing out walls on the exterior. It looks like individual rooms going in. So how can he cut exterior walls to put in individual heating air conditioning units if there's no permit?
And I'm going to refer that to Andrew with Building and Planning accordingly, and he'll be able to provide the insight around that.
No, that's okay. And as we had mentioned before, there actually is a permit, a demolition and an abatement permit on that specific property. I can say that because once a permit's issued, it is public. So there is a permit issued for selective demolition through an engineer and asbestos abatement because there was asbestos associated with that property and signed off to ensure it was removed correctly. There are some interior walls up there, some in situ walls for them to determine how they were hoping to reuse the property. Those walls are not closed up. Those walls will come down as part of a permit when it is issued. Right now the property is zoned institutional use, which allows for a very, very small range of buildings to be used in an institutional use, school, place of worship, some things like that.
Yeah.
I have also heard the ideas that go around with that property. It would be premature for me to say anything of what it would be. I will say when this town receives a formal application, it will be an official plan amendment, it will be a zoning bylaw amendment, it may very well be a plan of subdivision all at one time. When that application is made, you will see future development postings on site, making you aware of any public meetings, any public open houses that are a part of that, which I expect will be well attended.
Right.
And at that and at that time, you could ask any questions or concerns with the property you may have when they actually have a planning justification report, professional planners working on the file and can adequately talk about the stormwater management requirements and the outlet that's in there and the zoning of the property and meeting our density requirements. All those things have to be taken into account.
Okay.
I will say he is intending on reusing part of the building. Whether that's all of it or not, that's what he's given us through a pre-development consultation. And that's really as far as it's gone because he requires a professional planner to work on the file.
Right, because he's owned that property for 5 years approximately?
Probably more than that.
Yeah. It just seems like he's in over his head.
Yeah, I can't speak to the private landowner. Again, the best way to control your land is to own the land. And, you know, really beyond the clean yards type of things and the large parcel of property, it's no different than you having garbage stored in your backyard. It's just on a grander scale.
Oh, my wife is just asking, can you can you set a limit on like how long the time limit like
to develop the property?
No, on the clean yards bylaw.
Yeah, when a clean yards infraction is set or a notice or an order is set, we can put timelines on it. Again, until the permit is closed out, I can't impose a clean yards on that specific property.
Okay. You had a question too?
Well, is there a timeline on when the purchaser purchased it? Is there a timeline on when the purchaser purchased a property to when he develops it? Because it's been like 6 years.
No.
So
No.
This could take another.
Yeah, somebody could buy a residential home around the corner from you and it could be gutted and they might not live in it for 10 years until they decide to move up here and renovate it and put an addition on. It's no different. It's just the scale.
All right. Thank you.
And I think also what the town's trying really hard to do is respect the owner's privacy in the fact that they're also mandated to keep it
Well,
private.
certainly we know that location has the eyes and ears of our community, as some other areas, and we listen to those residents when they contact us. But again, as Andrew noted, we have to respect the process and the development process accordingly, and that's what we're doing. And I realize opinions are formed, and we just need to give them the owner the time to hopefully come to us with a plan that the community then will be able to hear about accordingly. So.
Hi, I'm a come from away. I have only been in Hanover for a year and a half. Wonderful, wonderful community. This was a good experience to not only get to meet everybody, but as the gentleman in the front said, wow. I also am a neighbor. I am the pastor at St. Matthew's Evangelical Lutheran, apparently the Red Lutheran Church.
The Red Lutheran Church, that's right.
I have lived in very many communities, and this is a first. But anyway, as you may or may not know, we've invited folks from the town of Hanover to a couple of our roundtable discussions, as St. Matthew's has been here for 150 years and is literally a cornerstone of the community. And the way things were are not the way things are. And we too are looking to the next 150 years and how what we have been left with through time is an asset that can be better used. So my question is, has the town done any conversation? I know there's been lots of talk around development for housing and new wonderful subdivisions that are going up. I can't help but think about the least in our midst who are not safely housed and who are not properly housed. And according to the Grey County Committee report in March, there are 770 families, single people, elderly, on the waiting list for homes. So has that conversation happened? Because there are many faith communities all over Ontario that are turning their places of worship into housing for geared to income.
Well, what I would, and I'll maybe turn to our county reps, as in Mayor Sue and Deputy Mayor Dickert, but obviously the affordable housing piece, we do rely on our Grey County partnership accordingly. But if there was interest in the community of that type of initiative taking legs, then perhaps the town's role at that point would be linking that inquiry or that initiative to the Grey County staff accordingly, because we have done that in past instances that I'm aware of. It's interesting, like affordable housing is not a direct municipal role, as I hope you're aware, but we certainly get that question and have that asked of us. So we definitely try to be a link to our Grey County partners accordingly. Maybe I'd ask if Mayor Sue or Deputy Mayor Dickert have anything to add there.
Probably both. So yes, Sherri is correct that the Grey County is responsible for affordable housing, subsidized housing, homelessness, and there is a waiting list, although it ranges anywhere from 2.5 years up to 6 years for single family homes, or sometimes 3-4 bedrooms, depending on how many children are in a family. So there is a list, and it is growing. As we know, it's growing in every municipality. And if there was like a partnership, we would connect you with Grey County, because we want to help everyone, right? So I do want to say Grey County in recent years, they've built supportive transitional housing in Owen Sound, and they also purchased a motel for homeless people, and they have an office there, they have security there, and both buildings allow people to move on into apartments or where they can live on their own. And I'm going to let Deputy Mayor Warren talk about successes. But I also want to say that we have SOS here that meets in this building every other Wednesday, which has wraparound services. And as we are the second largest settlement area in Grey County, Owen Sound is the first, we're the second, we have the resources, and it does attract a lot of people and helps a lot of people. So there's United Way is there. Grey County comes with housing to get people on a list to help them out. There's Bright Shores Hospital has someone come and talk to people. There's mental health. They try and do all the wraparound services just to help people. So we are there, and we can help you get to Grey County. And someday we're going to have we were just talking about having a affordable housing built here, because we do have quite a few places in town, and you may not even know that they're here, but they are well used. Deputy Mayor, you want to?
Yeah, I'll just add to that the project that the county did on 14th Street in Owen Sound has 12 units in it, and it opened up, I believe, last June type of thing. And they've had, they call them graduates because it's people who have been out in the community, been homeless, are struggling with addiction and other issues, and they've been able to take them in there, give them some good life skills like cooking, doing laundry, all of those good things, running a budget. And they've had 8 graduates that have come out of that system now and are actually out functioning within the community. One of the things you often hear about is not in my backyard. You know, people don't want it there. But this facility has actually been very successful in integrating into the community up there. They've had very, very little problems coming from complaints and things of that nature. They actually opened up the facility last Halloween, and people from the neighborhood had kids going in trick-or-treating and really integrating them into that society. And then from a personal note, my daughter's a police officer, and she has told me so many times that that's what's missing is you know, when you have someone that you're trying to help out on the street, and you know, they maybe end up in a cell for a night, but it's when they come out there's not that support. This type of building is what actually bridges that gap that's out there, and it's a great success. It's one of the very few in Ontario, and it's being looked at as a model for the rest of the communities to look at that are supplying these services. So I know that doesn't answer the Hanover thing, but you know, it is in the area. It's Grey County. They're doing a great job with it, and you know, if we can find the right partners, because it all comes down to having that facility, having the funds to do it, and you know, the right partnership. Maybe that's something. I do know Hanover is certainly, Owen Sound and Hanover are the 2 areas that have the biggest challenge with it, because we have the facilities and services that people need, and so hopefully we would be next on the list. And I know Mayor Sue has actually made that statement at County Council that, you know, remember, we're in need of this too, so stay tuned, I guess.
Maybe I shouldn't, but what the municipality, what the town of Hanover can control is getting units into the housing market, increasing the supply. We generally can't determine what those rates are, whether it's a market rate rental or an affordable rental or an attainable rental. Our job is to make it easy, though, to build and put those units into the community. We do that by having very reasonable planning rates for any changes, making a streamlined process to have any planning amendments. We currently do not have development charges. You hear all the time it's expensive to build. The town of Hanover does not have a lower tier development charge right now, and it hasn't seemed to help us in getting affordable units within the community. Through the CIP program and the TEAG program, you do not pay a development charge at a county level if you have an affordable unit that you've built or rented. You can add a second unit to your house. You do not have a development charge on your building permit for that. We do not see the uptick of that happening. That could be for many reasons. People don't want renters in their basement. They're worried the issues landlord-tenant board, hearings, those type of things. What we can control is making it easy to build. You're not seeing new builds at an affordable rate. A developer is not building it. It does not make sense to a developer. We really need those not-for-profit. Absolutely. We need those other groups, and absolutely the town would work with them to figure out the best way to do that.
So I would say if St. Matthew's is interested in being a partner, then we should talk more so that we could link, or other churches or other partners that maybe are listening, that we could talk further and have those conversations accordingly with Grey County. I think this gentleman, because I think there was a question up here too, Tony, at some point. So, okay, good. Lindsay.
I just wanted to express my appreciation for all that council and staff do for making this an amazing town and for its growth. And my heart is with the hospital, and I just wonder how we are coming alongside, advocating for our hospital, supporting them, championing them as we grow as a community, and the needs on the hospital grow too. So that's...
Right. So I will start, and then I'll probably turn to Mayor Sue again and Deputy Mayor Dickert. So we do have representatives on the Joint Physician Recruitment Committee. And so, that committee is working to recruit more doctors accordingly. But we know that our hospital is under pressure. If you were at that public meeting in November, we heard the pressure that the hospital is under, especially the emergency room, with the closures that we see. So congratulations to Hanover District Hospital for the work they do to keeping our hospital open 24/7 for the area, not just Hanover, but for the area. So we certainly assist with joint physician recruitment. Council within the budget provides an annual amount for that through the budget process. We've also advocated on behalf of the hospital accordingly at any provincial conferences that we have the opportunity to do so. We had a delegation at the 2024 Rural Ontario Municipal Associations with the Minister of Health, where we expressed our concern for hospital and hospital funding, and specifically the need for more funding for Hanover District Hospital. So any chance that we can to advocate at the provincial level for Hanover District Hospital, we are doing so in consultation with the hospital. We don't do that without their consent or their involvement because we don't wish to hinder their advocacy as well. So we are in the background being a very big cheerleader for Hanover District Hospital, and hopefully soon we can announce that we have some further doctors coming to Hanover accordingly. So I'm not saying that's, I'm hoping soon, hoping and soon. Yeah, praying. You do that every Sunday. That would be wonderful. So Mayor Sue, do you want to add anything more to that?
Well, maybe you could speak to it, that the town owns the medical.
Oh, yes, thank you. So yes, the town owns the medical clinic that opened, Chris, in what year?
2002.
2002. Holy. That seems like a long time ago, 23 years ago. So the town owns the medical clinic, and so we facilitate the operation of that building to support and assist our current docs who are part of the medical associates accordingly. Of course, there's tenants in the basement as well, but that is a fairly significant support as well for our medical operation. Warren, did you have anything you want to add?
I was just going to say that as well as the town advocating at conferences and things like that, the county, that June at the Roma conference, the county had a delegation with the Minister of Health and also makes requests on behalf of the hospital. So we're coming at it from as many angles as we can.
Thank you. I forgot about that one. You've been patiently waiting. Thank you.
This is probably an economic development question, but so I moved here from Owen Sound, and at one point they participated in the Doors Open Ontario program.
Right.
So through that, they had opened up the fire department, the police department. I'd been into the water treatment plant, and all of those gave tours, and it was really, really great. As you know, this evening has also been really great for kind of getting a view into the town council and how the community works. Have we looked into participating in that program at all?
So maybe April, do you want to add to that? Do you want to answer that, or I can start? And so we're certainly aware of Doors Open. It really needs some I would say it needs probably some community drive to help make that happen from a community volunteer group. Our heritage, like Culture Days, is sort of an opportunity that we have to do that. And I know Heritage Committee was working on something last year to maybe open up some of our heritage homes that residents, but it just didn't come to fruition quite yet. So there's been some ideas in the background. I would say for that to take legs, it's going to need some community partner or members who would help to make that happen. But I agree with you. It's really it really would be good for people to get into our water treatment plant and our wastewater treatment plant and some of those buildings that we don't frequent very often because as council, they see those buildings when they're first elected in a term. We tour all of those buildings and some of those are so key that people, they turn their taps on, but if you could see what goes into making sure your water is safe that you get out of your tap in a day, and the same with the wastewater treatment plant, and especially with the work that we're going through there with our EA process for the enhancement to increase our cubic meters or our rating, as well as our future expansion. I take your suggestion, but if you or others would be interested in helping to make that happen, we'd certainly listen accordingly and assist it where we can. Okay?
Can I just say?
Yes.
I want to say that's a great idea, and it's a learning moment for me because I thought Open Doors was houses and heritage, so that's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's usually in June. Open Doors.
The Chamber of Commerce does do their business after 5s. It's not necessarily municipal things, but they do it for businesses. So you can attend those.
Yeah. Good. Any other questions?
Everybody's hand.
I might have to grab a drink of water here.
I'll just go down.
I'm just curious, with the launch pad closed, was there equipment that the Town of Hanover owned, and what happened to that if they had?
So the question was, with launch pad closure, was there equipment in the building, and was it Town of Hanover owned? So the launch pad skills training and technology center was a not-for-profit organization. So they were a separate not-for-profit organization and board. When they dissolved through the dissolution process, they are now dissolved, and the equipment that exists in the building was transferred then to the Town of Hanover. At this point, it still exists in the building, and we are working through the process of what are the next steps with respect to that. Not at this point. Again, we're just working through the next steps accordingly. No plans that I can share at this point in time.
Yes, I have a traffic question.
Oh, we don't have police here tonight, Catherine. Maybe it's a stoplight question.
No, a stop sign question.
Oh, okay. Well, we got some people who can answer that.
Second Street and 11th Avenue.
Yes.
Which is, if you're traveling east there, it's dangerous because the guy at the corner has a hedge and you can't see the traffic coming south because of his hedge. So I wondered if there's any plans to, I don't suppose you can make him tear down his hedge, but if there's any plans for a stop sign for the southbound traffic.
So I live on 11th Ave and I walk that neighborhood daily, actually. So I hear what you're saying, very much so. So there's a couple of things with stop signs, and I'm going to maybe Ron and Andrew can help here. But sight lines is important. So if the hedge is impeding with sight lines, Mr. Cooper, correct, we would be able to do something about, we could assess whether we need to do something about that. I'll maybe have Ron and or Andrew. Do you want both? Okay. Okay. If I can just share from a traffic perspective, when you're saying, so you mean traffic stopping coming south on 11th Ave, basically?
Well, if you're driving east on 2nd Street, the traffic coming south does not stop.
Right.
So you have a stop sign, so you have to stop and look to see, but you can't see.
Yeah, it is a
and
little
people sometimes are coming pretty fast down there. And if they're going to turn left and you drive
and there's a bit of a hill there to deal with, so you've got to think about the traffic coming up the hill. But I'll let Andrew talk about sight lines and anything else you want to add to that, Andrew.
Yeah, it would be Rana to determine if a stop sign was required, but I will say that that's referred to as a sight triangle. There's a sight triangle requirement at a corner that needs to be met. It's generally 9 meters from corner to corner, either direction, with a sight line through. It's technically a zoning administration issue, which would fall under bylaw enforcement or building. So I guess I would just say noted. I hadn't heard that, and it's something we could look at. And there are ways to have that homeowner prune a bush, so to speak, to make it more visible there if it's a concern.
So is that something that you would initiate then, or do you need somebody to request it, or?
I just had somebody.
Okay.
And if I can just add, these are perfect examples. These are perfect examples of items that are great to put into our citizen request and suggestion on our website. So you can enter that information. You can include pictures, and it would be a roads thing. There's many different sections that you can add. So that would be a great thing to put on there. And then it goes specifically to our staff to consider an action and get back to you accordingly. But 11th Ave and 2nd Street, it's been noted, and Andrew and Ron will have a look at that, Catherine.
And I'm just wondering if anybody, I realize it's not a town responsibility, but if anybody knows anything about what's happening with the Esso station. It's very inconvenient that it's not running.
Yeah, my husband asked me that same question pretty frequently, actually, because again, we live in that area. I think pretty much the answer around this whole table would be, or this whole group would be, no, we don't know anything that's happening there, other than we see it closed like you do.
I was just wondering if you have any timeline regarding the new nursing home.
Good question. The short answer is no, we do not have a timeline for the new nursing home that is to be built across from the Hanover District Hospital. I do know that Rivera was in the process of consideration for selling some of their properties, which I believe the Hanover properties were involved with. We have not had confirmation that that sale has occurred, but at which time it does, then we will be speaking with the new owners accordingly and getting an update on the project accordingly as well. So, yeah, short answer is no, we don't have timelines.
I could probably ask this on your put the question on the website, but I'm here now.
Yes, for sure.
Does Hanover have a noise bylaw?
So that's an Andrew. Andrew's stealing the thunder here tonight. He's hot. Okay, and maybe. So noise bylaw. I'll let. I think that's Andrew, isn't it? Yes.
Yes, we do. Is there anything specific to it?
Loud motorcycles and buses.
Yeah, typically that obnoxiousness would a lot of times we would refer to the police to probably help us out on that matter, perhaps. If you can maybe offline through anonymous or through the portal, perhaps if you give kind of maybe a location, if you know the location, perhaps it's something we can try to look into prior to passing it to police. Even if some of the items might not fall under bylaw and we have a relationship, or it's a simple knock on the door, we'll do that to try to make mention that there's been a community complaint.
I recall Chief Knoll being asked that at a public session, and his answer was, if you can pinpoint the time of day and maybe the vehicle, because often it's the same vehicle you're hearing, and therefore, if you can kind of pinpoint that, then as Andrew said, sometimes it's about going and speaking to the owner of that vehicle to let them know that that is a concern, because oftentimes if it's in the same neighborhood and it's the same time of day and it's the same type of vehicle, they probably live in the neighborhood, and therefore a conversation helps to resolve that accordingly.
I just would like to know more about the banquet facility, capacity and kitchen and those kinds of things, timeline.
Right. So that is a project of the Hanover Bentinck Brant Agricultural Society. And so that is a project being managed directly by them. They do have a building permit through our building and planning department. So I'll maybe have Andrew and then maybe our council rep. Let's start with our council rep. Give Andrew a bit of a break here. Let's have our council rep, Brandon Cable, share some of that information, Paul.
So it really has been an exciting project getting to this point. The intent is that the raceway office will be ready for race season. So the former restaurant, that section there is being turned into their new raceway office. So it'll have space for the general manager, the president of the Ag Society, secretary, etc., in the boardroom that will be in there. And then the former gaming floor is being turned into a large conference center that can be broken into 3 smaller rooms. There is a full commercial kitchen that they're putting in on the back end of that. And so currently they're using the race office on the other side of the track as kind of their temporary office for the Agricultural Society. But it really has been exciting to see this project come forward. Certainly there's a lot of volunteers who operate the Hanover Bentinck and Brant Agricultural Society and Hanover Raceway. And it's really their commitment and their drive to bring this facility to our town, which has seen this come to fruition. So they are hoping that their race office will be ready for race season, and then hopefully we'll see that banquet hall open later this year or early 2026.
Seating capacity?
I think they're hoping it's going to be close to 400.
Thank you. My second follow-up question is, there's a lot of vacant buildings around the town. Some of them, like the Byway store, have been there for generations, and the Dickies factory and things like that. And then we're talking about the housing needs. I know that it's hard, but what could be done to marry those two needs together?
Well, I'll maybe let Andrew and April, but again, those are privately owned with specifically the Dickies. There is a private owner there who has some development ideas with respect to that space that we are aware of at a preliminary basis about. We are waiting for the further development applications accordingly. So when you heard it takes time, it's not just time on the town side, but it's also time when we're dealing with the developers accordingly. So that speaks to the Dickies store, the Dickies location. The former Byway, yes, it has been vacant. Again, it's privately owned. We point interested proponents to the owner, and those conversations then happen between the owner and the proponent. Our role in getting a deal in those situations is more the referral or help to share. We don't obviously get involved in the facilitation of making those deals happen accordingly. So I don't know, April, if you want to add more.
I would just like to add, we are regularly in communication with some of these properties and trying to promote action, but it does take the participation on the owner's side as well. But I would just say that the CIP, or the Community Improvement Program that I mentioned, that is our tool in our toolbox to help incent some of this development of what we want to see. So we have vacant building conversion, we have startup funds, we have accessibility improvements. There's several incentives within that program to try to incent this development. And we've actually gone as far as identifying priority sites, such as the ones you have mentioned, to help reinforce our wish to help promote them developing them. So yeah, we're working away at it, and but I also think we are fortunate that to have low vacancy for the building owners that are active that way.
I have heard, and I don't know if this is true, so if you could clarify for me, that vacant storefronts get a tax break compared to an occupied storefront, and therefore there isn't much incentive for them to...
That used to be the case, but that's not the case anymore.
Thank you.
That has been done away with, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I would agree with you, and the old Buckeye building is a perfect example. The question earlier about affordable housing, those are the types of building conversions that you can have an affordable type of housing rate. That property specifically, that new owner came to the Planning Advisory Committee and did present their plans for kind of a multi-residential unit that will go in there. They have a few hurdles to overcome. Again, like I said, we don't stand in the way of hurdles. We try to help you work through them. So hopefully they can work through those and we will see that one develop. And just to echo what you said, it can be a little frustrating sometimes, those empty buildings. You're trying to pair people up. You spend a lot of time on it, but we are kind of at the mercy of them.
Any other questions? Wow, thank you. That was a great question comment session, so thank you for that. You sure can, Mayor Sue.
So I'm not sure if everyone is aware of the announcement today where the province gave 169 municipalities, the mayors, the strong power, which is some of the major cities have had the strong power mayors legislation brought in. And I just want to say it's related to me, it's related to provincial priorities such as encouraging the approval of new housing and infrastructure to support housing and roads. And I wrote this out today because I think it's important to share with council and staff my belief on this. I believe in the process which supports democracy. All of council may not agree on every issue, but we work best when all voices are heard equally. Council as a whole works in the best interests of the public and the community we serve. So I don't see any changes with the new powers being brought to our community. Thanks.
Yeah, I had another CAO today who said, well, I wasn't expecting that on the bingo card today. So anyways, none of us expected that announcement today. So we have some information to work through quite yet. But I will finish by saying some thank yous. Thank you to Hanover Public Library and specifically Tony Castra for organizing today's session. This was really great. Thank you. I want to say thank you to Whiteman and specifically Adam Olivero, who is taping tonight's session, and it will be aired, I'm told, on Saturday, April 19th at 8:30 p.m. And I'm assuming thereafter maybe, but and it will be also available on the Whiteman YouTube channel. So hopefully through the library and the town, we'll be sharing those accordingly. And I specifically want to say thank you for taking the time to be engaged citizens in our community and coming tonight or this evening, whatever we want to call it, and sharing your insights, your compliments, your questions. They were thoughtful questions. And if you have others that you didn't get answered tonight, and staff and council will be here for a little bit yet, that you can do so. Or, as I've said a couple times and the mayor said, you can use our citizen request and suggestion portal as well, which is available on our website. Or call the town office. Our staff are quite willing to speak on the phone as well. So as you see, we have a great team here. Again, council and staff working collaboratively to ensure we have a community that continue to wow our residents, as was heard tonight. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks.